Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding.
We've talked about wrestlers breaking character a couple of times before, but you know what's interesting about breaking character? It seems like it hardly ever has financial repercussions, which you'd think it should, since it's kind of the worst thing you can do as a television character. Guys like Triple H and Randy Orton, they have broken countless times though, and it's rarely ever really mattered for either man. Unfortunately, the following folk aren't so lucky. I'm D Wicket, and these are 10 wrestlers who were fined for breaking character. Number 10, headbanger Mosh. Maybe a name some of you won't know, maybe a gimmick some of you definitely missed, because while the headbangers are pretty legendary, Mosh's other gimmick, beaver cleavage, yeah, not so much. I mean, it's in the name. He was something of a man-child who had some black and white vignettes there where his quote-unquote mom, and I seriously can't put enough quotation marks around the word mom, would come out and help him in all these sexual innuendo-y ways. It was terrible television, and according to Jim Cornette, Vince Russo's idea, which suddenly makes sense. Now, WWE has done a good job removing this footage from the internet, but during one of his segments, the poor fucking dude, he just couldn't handle it anymore, said, "I can't do this," into a microphone, and literally walked off the stage.
Is this what Mother's little boy is looking for? Does Mother's little hairy beaver want some of Mother's milk?
Number 9, Triple H. I know, we just said Triple H doesn't have to worry, and 9 times out of 10, he doesn't. But there will always be MSG. And nothing hit Triple H anywhere near as hard as the curtain call. It's been a while since we actually explained it, so basically back when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were on their way out of the company in 1996 heading off to WCW, a Madison Square Garden show ended with both men alongside with Shawn Michaels and Triple H raising each other's hands in a nice little send-off celebration type thing. Unfortunately, half of these men were babyface and the other half were heel at the time, and 1996 was most definitely still a kayfabe era, so naturally, someone's gonna get in trouble here.
It's a rare moment. We never saw that.
Oh, absolutely. We taped it not to sell it, not to trade it. What we did is,
seeing as the Outsiders were on their way out and HBK was the champion, the soon-to-be Game ended up not only taking a fine, but also losing his spot as 96's King of the Ring.
You were the guys that shot that video?
correct.
Yeah.
You guys know, like, in the beginning of those shows, there's like a disclaimer about, like shooting. I'd like to have these officers just have a word with you.
Number 8, Alicia Fox. It's gotta suck being given like one entire thing to do for a calendar year and then getting fined for it, but hey, that's the life of Alicia Fox. Fair play to Foxy though. I think this was in 2017 and she actually had a few things that year. I think she dated Noam Dar, or did I dream that up? On this rare TV occurrence of hers, she was kickstarting a feud between herself and a rising Nia Jax. I dare you to guess who won this feud. Well, before it really got started, Nia confronted Foxy in a backstage segment that saw Alicia throw a box in anger or frustration or whatever insanity Alicia Fox has, but when she chucked it, she legitimately just threw it right in the fucking face of Nia, and Alicia reacted like a normal person would if you flung a box at a person, which unfortunately isn't what a professional wrestler should be doing, especially on live television, which unfortunately resulted in her being fined.
Get out of my face! Huh? Huh? What are you gonna do? Oh! Actually, I don't care! Oh!
Number 7. Once again, a name some of you definitely missed. Meet Dustin Rhodes' creepy, potentially sexually predatory gimmick 7. Not unlike the beaver cleavage instance, the gimmick was conceived and almost immediately disliked by everyone involved, specifically the man playing the titular character. 7 was a white-faced creeper who stalked around neighborhoods in all black and talked to children through windows. Do you see any problems here? Well, Dustin Rhodes did, seeing as he, and also not unlike Mr. Mosh, decided enough was enough and publicly bashed the gimmick live on WCW television before never appearing under the moniker again.
You will never, ever forget the name of Dustin Rhodes.
Number 6, Mark Henry. Now this one is a tad bit upsetting. Mark Henry, due to being a man of slightly larger than normal stature, well, he doesn't exactly run at, full speeds these days. He's a big fucking boy. And you don't just become a big fucking boy by working the treadmill, alright? He was the strongest man on earth at one point in time. Give him a break, he doesn't need to be fast too. Unfortunately though, when being slow can hamper the product in any way, Vince has issues. And when the WWE locker room was chasing the Nexus out of the building, Mark was at the head of the pack with the most of the Nexus ahead of him, except for a few members who were behind him, and just passed right by Mark Henry, who seemed to not notice a damn thing. A moment that infuriated Vince so much that it actually ended up costing. Seriously, Mark Henry got fined for being slow. What the fuck? Number 5, CM Punk. No, he did not get fined for the pipe bomb, and if you think he did, you do not fully understand the pipe bomb. But if you know the situation, you know despite WWE and Punk being on the same side for that promo, they usually weren't on the same side. For example, Stephanie McMahon's insistence to put her husband over as the greatest world champion in WWE history didn't exactly sit well with the straight-edge savior back in 2014 when he very noticeably corpsed at this line. I don't know, maybe the best in the world shouldn't agree with that for, some reason, but whether it was intentional or Punk just genuinely laughing this line off, and I think it's the latter, he ended up paying the price for it, and then eventually getting fired on his wedding day, the real price. Number 4, Ronda Rousey. Wow, 2019 has been strange for Ronda Rousey. She beat Sasha at the Royal Rumble before taking to social media and losing her mind, bashing the company, calling wrestling fake, and then being crowned one of the Miss WrestleMania main eventers later that month. What the hell's going on? Then, after losing in that main event, she disappeared, and she's still disappeared, but okay, whatever. Rousey's first third of the year was wild, and while that backstage segment with her, Becky, Charlotte, and the cops was batshit,
Down, ladies. Calm down. Stop it. Calm down.
her breaking of kayfabe is still by far the craziest thing to happen. I'm really still not sure what happened and what was real. Ronda came out, said she got fined multiple times, and that seemed real, but honestly, dude, this whole scenario is so ass backwards, who knows if it even fucking happens to begin with. Number 3, Goldberg. If you thought that last kayfabe break was odd, just wait until you delve into 2000's WCW, alright? This is another level of insanity. New Blood Rising 2000. Goldberg goes up against Scott Steiner and Kevin Nash with some of the stupidest booking I've ever heard of. I knew that 2000's WCW was a rough time. I always heard that, but I never really looked into it too far, and wow. This is just off the surface, folks. WCW's whole thing was basically telling people that wrestling was fake, but the main eventers were sick of all that fake bullshit and were fighting for real, and then weren't gonna do that job anymore. And then something equally stupid and kayfabe shattering, so who even gives a damn anymore? What we do know is that halfway through the match, Goldberg walked out because he didn't want to take Kevin Nash's jackknife powerbomb. He left the match because he didn't want to take a move. What the fuck?
What am I? Come on! Look at Russo forcing Nash's young nephew Hunter to watch this. That's it. Oh, come on!
Number 2, Hulk Hogan. Bash at the Beach 2000, the 2000's WCW incident you might actually know about. In summary, Hogan versus Jeff Jarrett's gonna happen. Hogan doesn't want to lose his title. Jarrett comes out, lays down for Hogan. Hogan takes to the mic and runs down WCW, and Vince Russo specifically, the mastermind behind both of these last two genius entries, mind you, before walking out on the company never to turn back. Russo would then come out, discredit Hogan and his entire last interaction with Jarrett and the crowd, and start a brand new match for the world title that didn't include Hogan at all. What the fuck? Is this pro wrestling? Have we peaked yet? Is this the apex of this sport? Because I'm pretty done with it by now.
And let me tell you who doesn't give a shit about this company. that goddamn politician Hulk Hogan.
And number 1, Marty Jannetty. Thank God there's a silver lining here, folks. There's a lot of true detriment to kayfabe. Like, seriously, those last 2 entries were insane. So let's take a second to relax and just sit back and enjoy the truest form of insanity, Vince McMahon, and that one time that Marty Jannetty started cracking up during his Kiss My Ass segment at Vince's gyrating and very bare hips, so the big cheeked McMahon decided to fine him for breaking character. Marty Jannetty was fined for laughing at Vince McMahon's shaking naked ass. Just let it sink in.
There it is.
Now you gotta admit,
And those are the 10 wrestlers who were fined for breaking character. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below after liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and notifications and that bell.